Ayo.
Ladies and gentlemen,
What's good, y'all?
welcome back to the Producer Lounge, your weekly music production broadcast.
Oh, shit.
Brought to you by Always 400.
Yep.
Folks, it's a special week.
It's very special. Dave's in a pashmina.
I
That's a special week to me.
Dave is in a sniper veil. Let's be real here. It is
see
a
him.
sniper veil.
This is just some commonplace recon gear here.
That's true. Folks, it's episode 175.
Wow. Impressive.
Wow.
Yeah, we're still at drum and bass speed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where does go?
Fucking great.
Yeah.
Folks, special guest this week. We've brought you Bezio.
Oh,
He's back, baby.
he's back.
Oh, shit.
He's back.
For having me.
Of course.
By special request.
It's a little cute, like.
I don't know.
Oh, but you do.
Oh, he knows.
I know you know. We know you know that I know that you know.
Exactly, folks. This is why we're called the Producer Lounge,
Yep.
because we know.
That's
we
it.
know.
But we
Producers is who we know.
also, yeah. But we
It's
also,
literally all we know is producers.
yeah, it's true.
That's all you need.
Hey, I have a girlfriend.
That's true.
Show off.
That's true.
Show off. Yeah, I know, right?
Women don't produce.
Well, she's special. She walked up to me and said, "Do you like techno?" And I was like,
You're like,
Marry
marry me. Yeah.
yeah,
all over.
exactly. Shout out Dallas. But no, we're glad you're here, dude.
Thank you.
We're happy to have
Happy
you.
to be
been
back,
too
man.
long.
I appreciate
yeah.
you guys.
How's been the production journey for you
been
since we
good.
last saw you?
Just working on grinding. Just working on trying to work fast and
Let's go.
put shit out. Just try and put shit out. Like
Hell yeah.
instead of sitting on things. Like
Yeah, I have a problem with that.
yeah, it's a hard thing to get over because it's like that vicious cycle where you just kind of go in circles and it's like the thing you made a couple months ago is not as good as the thing you made yesterday. And it's like, you know
Of
what?
course.
Just share it though. Just share it.
Just put it out.
Share it,
you never
everybody.
know. You
Share,
never know.
guys.
Yeah. Go share it.
Sharing is
I mean,
caring.
Exactly.
Not everybody.
Right. Not everybody.
Everybody needs to be sharing this.
That's
fucking
true.
tunes.
Wait like 5 years.
Let's be real. Honestly, this is the preferred scenario is where you're like, yeah, but like it's hard for me to put out tunes, but I actually do I think I should probably do them.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like many years in. Yeah, that's when we actually want you to put out tunes.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep. After you've gone through, I mean, you're always going through the journey.
Right. It
But
doesn't stop.
Yeah, that
after
never
you've
ends.
got past that stage where everything that you're exporting is like, you know, super quiet and like there's that one thing that's super loud because you've been using your like shitty earplugs
Or
to
you
produce
figured out
them.
how to saturate a thing. You're like,
Whoa.
Whoa.
oh my god.
Saturation.
Oh my god.
Sick. So you've been sending stuff to labels and stuff? Or you just self-releasing?
Mostly self-releasing.
Sick.
Oh.
Although I did, when was that? Like back in June? I did a little EP with a friend's label. Shout out Simics. Shout out Ray
Shout
Dolan,
out.
bro. They're a little local, small little boutique kind of label thing.
Boutique.
Yeah.
That makes it sound
They make good music.
way cooler than
yeah.
it is.
That's the point. Yep.
Yeah.
Boutique. It's
It's
gourmet.
boutique. Oh,
yes.
it's gourmet.
Gourmet.
Quite.
So I did that. That was fun.
Dude, I love a gourmet label.
Yeah. Gourmet.
Sick, dude. That's tight. That's tight. Well, production-wise, is there anything new that you've been stoked on? Like saturation?
Yeah, saturation is sick. I hear that there's this plugin called Saturator in Ableton.
Yeah.
No, just like actually kind of taking it back to the more basics of so I was really reliant on mud pies for a while and I still use them a lot, but like I'm trying to get back more into MIDI a little bit, like actually, you know, making the sounds because
Love
you get to
that.
that point where you're like using a sample out of a mud pie or something. You're like, I wish it would just do this a little bit.
Yeah.
So trying to get like just, you know, more like aware of the things that do the thing that like I'm like, oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Kind of more of the riff.
Yeah.
Trying to really finesse the riff.
Yep.
Yes.
And also, like,
similar boat.
Yeah, getting back into the
Yeah, you're getting back into making a patch. Yeah.
that you're just going to use for this song, and we're going to see how much we can squeeze out of it.
Right, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And basic stuff too, like the basic stuff just sounds better, like, you know, just the basic waves, or like a like wave-table that has just FM built into it, so it's like you're just kind of keeping it basic. That also helps you just keep moving, I feel like.
Yeah.
When you're not like tearing apart everything that you're adding in, where it's like, okay, how do I make it just do this a little bit more? Working fast, it's important, I feel like.
Dude, it really is.
Yeah, it's easy to take a mud pie and like try and force it.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, it just sounds like dog shit.
Yeah,
You're
it's
like,
gonna
what
sound.
happened?
Yeah, it's gonna sound bad, even if you get it to do the thing that you were kind of trying to make it do. It's
you've kind of EQ'd it too many times. You've oversaturated it too many times. Yeah, it's kind of tough. I mean, there's definitely a point when you get really good at making mud pies that you can like get stuff out of it that's quality. But a whole song that's just mud pie samples, at least in my experience, like never is quite there. It like kind of seems too chaotic. It's like I feel like the riff is just too whimsical. It's just like it doesn't have a personality that it needs to. I'll still make mud pies for like a turnaround sound or for augmenting sounds around the riff or whatever, but I do at this point prefer making a patch that's going to do most of the heavy lifting, if you will.
Yeah. Like Serum has this this wavetable that like is built in FM, like through the harmonic series. And I think they've got a couple of them in there, but that way you don't
remember the names by chance?
Like add thirds or
add seconds, add thirds,
Okay,
add
those
fourths.
ones.
I use those all the time.
Yeah.
Those are sick.
And that's cool because like then you can have like you can get all sorts of shit out of that. But like another thing I've been trying to do is like maybe not just using like, because Serum I'm just making basses most of the time, like that's like, but like
Same.
use that for the bass and like don't worry so much about what the high end of it's doing, so that you can do more interesting things with the high end, like, you know, drum chopping or like just some texture and stuff that goes over top it. Because if you have that full spectrum bass, then there's, I mean, it can be very cool, but like there's room to play within the whole spectrum of sound.
That's a good, it's a good thought to have. I've never been a full spectrum bass kind of guy. Occasionally I will. But yeah, I much prefer a more subdued sub.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Get that.
Subdude.
the subdude.
Subdude.
Sub, dude.
Subdude.
Yeah, it does leave lots of room because you can.
Jesus Christ. we went 5 ways with that fucking one.
Holy, you gonna write that down? Subdude.
Subdude.
Yeah, you
It's a
can.
song name. There you go.
Right. Yeah,
That's
sub,
easy.
dude.
That's easy. We make 5 songs out of that one.
Yeah. You feel free to sample that, folks.
Subdude.
Yeah, how
But-
about you guys?
The nice thing about making basses like that is you have room to layer another sound on top of it. If you want it to go full spectrum, you can easily make it go full spectrum.
A more subdued sound.
Right.
Subdued.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
You can make it from subdued
and this other
to a
guy's like,
subdude.
hi, bro.
Right.
Hi-hat, bro.
You need a subdude and a high, bro. Then you have harmony.
Goddamn right.
This guy's high as fuck. Yeah, that's fair.
I'm definitely one of the full frequency bass guys. Not intentionally, it's just
Sure.
like happens. I don't know how to not do it.
Well, there's something to it though too, where it's like it sounds good and it's taking up that whole space. There is definite like things to explore in that realm.
Right.
And
Time
then
and
you can-
place.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
a big problem I have, like when I don't do the huge frequency basses, like my drops never feel like they're hitting enough. It always feels like more of just like a tucked minimal version of the thing. And I don't know if I have like ADHD or some shit, but I'm like, it has to be fucking so in your face all the time.
Right.
And like, it has to slam like.
Yeah.
So it's harder when you're like, you got a little sub dude down there.
Right.
You know?
Which is fine
can
for
do
just
more.
the
It's
song.
Yeah.
I know that there's potential there.
And that could be that could have diminishing returns though if you're like trying to play out live and you want to have like some ebb and flow in your set. If it's all just fucking 100% the whole time, then everybody's just kind of like, okay, we're not going anywhere. It's just like full level
Peaks
the
and
whole
valleys.
time.
Yeah.
Which, needless to say, I didn't really feel that at your show. I felt like you did a pretty good job of having some ebb and flow, which I was.
I thought it was pretty fucking hype.
It was definitely
It was
hype.
pretty fucking hype the
It was
whole time.
definitely hype. But
Yeah.
Austin's set was definitely just like fucking steaming ahead.
Hell
yeah, but it also wasn't long enough to really warrant a lot of peaks and valleys.
Sure, an hour.
Like
Got
an
an hour
hour
to
is
work
not
with.
like it's kind of good enough just to be like, like
Just go ham the whole time.
yeah, just go ham.
Might as well.
Yeah, if you're doing like 3
Yeah, that's
hours,
fair.
then you got to kind of construct some fun story throughout the set.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think.
Yep.
Hmm.
Because if you're just like high energy, where are you gonna go?
Right,
Gonna go down.
exactly.
And then it's but use that to your advantage.
You can never go down. You can only go up. That's why I construct my sets from low energy to high energy and low BPM to high BPM. I always end
What a
on
crazy
gabber.
set. Yeah. Just,
You just always go up.
Good old Gabber. It's
Good
coming
old
back,
Gabber.
I think, right? It's got to be.
yeah, that's an interesting point. The whole like full in your face sounds versus not.
You could use that to your advantage, even like song by song basis. If you have one song that's like full spectrum slams, the very next drop that you play, if it's a little more subdued but still has energy, it just has that contrast live.
Sure.
I've heard Subtronics talk about that, where he will intentionally like have little moments where he's like, "Oh, big rhythm thing," and then like tiny rhythm experimental thing, and he says
Right.
that's always when the crowd's like, "Oh, it's not slam your face rhythm,
Right.
sick, let's scream, like
Right.
cool."
Right.
Yep.
Especially if it still has a bunch of, I guess, energy on the bottom end. So it's still hyphy,
Yeah,
but it's, it's all fucking dark.
Still got to slap in its own special way.
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause
Right.
they're- slaps are all over the place.
Oh
man.
yeah. You can
slap in
find
a couple
them,
ways, man.
find them under
Slap
rocks.
all over the spectrum, dude.
That's right. Spectrum's wide, folks. You got 20,000
Subdude's not the only
hertz.
dude.
Good old sub dude.
There are plenty of dudes.
Thank
Be
you for your
subbed.
service.
There's a mid dude, there's like a low mid, a high mid dude, and a high dude.
Yeah.
Who brought mids, dude?
The
Mid high dude.
mid, bro.
Wait, who brought mid? Yeah, who
hate
brought
that guy.
mid dude? Jesus. Who's this guy here?
It's like I guess he can hang, but like not the biggest fan.
Kind of mid.
Yeah, I go back and forth on the MIDI versus mud pie kind of
same.
vibes. Because sometimes I just want to make some weird sounds and then use them mud pie style. But a lot of the time, if I'm doing that, I will sample it and or in like a sampler, and then it'll end up in MIDI anyway.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I've been leaning recently, rather than just tossing the audio straight into the track.
Yeah.
Because
You
there's
got
just
the extra
more
control.
manipulation you
Yeah.
can do there.
Oh, that
in
was
an
that your
easier
phone?
way.
I was like, what the?
How dare you?
You bastard.
It was so.
I'll see
subtle
myself
enough
up.
Yeah, I've been going full circle, excuse me, where I basically write in something in MIDI and then I'll flatten it down and then pull that into a sampler and work again in MIDI.
Yeah.
Right.
I do that all the fucking time.
It's nice to see what like to see the waveform, to see where the like little like extra crunchy parts are, the extra like squeezed in parts, and the more stretched apart siney parts and stuff.
And there's just things you can do with a sampler that you can't do with a synth.
Right. And it's like constant, so it's like, you know,
Right,
it's not going to re-trigger weirdly or something.
Right. That's true.
True.
And it's specifically going to re-trigger on something weird that you want it to re-trigger on every single time.
The weirdness
Right.
will be my saying.
You want it to repeat.
Yeah.
It's kind of the idea with jazz. You play a wrong note, play it again. Like, I mean, technically, we're all making jazz at the end of the day.
In F or E. Maybe D. We'll see.
Hey, I've been writing a lot in F sharp and G.
I've been working in F sharp a lot recently.
Yeah.
As well, 'cause
It's like
I was writing in F a lot, and then I went to work with Caleb on the decks, and I was like, oh, our tunes are oddly like not ever in the same key at all. So I was just like, I guess I'm working in F sharp minor now.
Yeah.
For a while to try and kind of get some juice into that area.
Yeah,
I tend to like to
yeah.
fucking make something in D though.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
I try and switch it up every single song. Every song I'm like, okay, last one was in F sharp, let's go G this time. And that one was in G, let's go D sharp.
Yeah.
That one was in D sharp is E, D sharp, and then I'll work in E. And I'll kind of like rotate up and like go back down from like D to G. And I'll just sit there and rotate through each one of those keys.
That's a good move.
So I just have like a plethora.
Built like a specific key that you like when you're doing a mud pie, like a specific
F
key that you're going for, so you can always just kind of like move it around.
Yeah, I'll usually whenever I'm like gonna resample something, I'll do it in F.
Because I always go E. These are all in F, so
and it's in the middle, so I can pitch it up to G pretty easily. I can pitch it down to D pretty easily.
There you go.
Yeah. That's usually my move.
Yeah.
And it hits the best in the studio, so I just have the most fun when I'm making weird sounds in F, because it's just
very important.
Fucking broody and big.
Hits the 10-inch sub nicely.
Yep, it sure does. Although it's barely moving because I have it turned down so low. So I don't ever produce that loud.
Not allowed to produce. Yeah. True. There's certain times where you're like, okay, let's hear what this sounds like a little bit louder.
Correct.
But yeah, like producing quiet.
I get fatigued so fast.
Yeah. Save your ears.
I can't do it.
And you can see what's spoken
I produce
out.
loud as fuck all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Makes me feel bad when I go into Caleb's studio and I'm like, God damn it. This is like, you turned it up for me to listen to it, and it's still quieter than I would be making my music at.
That's because I know. Well, I used to produce loud all the time, and then there was just a quality of my productions when I was doing that where it was like forced to some degree, for lack of a better word. I don't know what it was, but it always felt like I was trying to force it to be like loud and in your face, because I was always like fucking listening to it loud. But now when I have it quiet, I can like feel the depth better. So I feel like I mix better when I produce at a quieter volume.
And you're not damaging your ears.
Well, sure.
Pretty sweet.
Those are
as
important.
an artist who's working in sound.
Also, a lot of times I'm producing at 5:30 a.m.
Nice.
And I don't like headphones a lot. So
is that 5:30 a.m. wake up, or is that like 5:30 a.m. we've got here through the day and it's 5:30 a.m.?
No, it's I wake up and then I go right into the studio.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Usually that's when I'm going to bed and I'm like, all right, I'm tagging you in, Caleb. Take the morning shift.
I'm in bed by 9.
All about that like super early morning crew. That's
I
where the
love
magic
it.
Oh, you're a
happens
morning
for
guy.
me. Oh yeah.
Oh man,
Nice.
So much sauce happens first thing in the morning.
I love getting up on the
brain works
weekends
so
at like
good.
6 a.m. and just popping on down and
Oh man,
good to go till like noon or so. And
it's crazy because you don't feel necessarily crazy inspired.
Yeah.
But next thing you know, it's like 10:30, and you're like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
what the
Yeah.
fuck? I've been in here for 4 hours. Like, Jesus Christ."
Yeah, and something sick happened.
Yeah, always a bunch of really good fucking work got done,
Yeah.
and you're not thinking about it. You're not like, "Oh, I got to work on this track." It's not like 2:00 in the afternoon. You're like, "I got to work on this before I eat food and then get drunk and then I can't do anything." So it's
having
like
that midday lull.
right. You just cruise, and it's a bunch of really good shit that just happened. It's
where
fucking
the
great.
juices are flowing. They've been replenished from a good night's rest. But but then you go in at like a late night sesh out of nowhere, and it's
can't do
like
that.
your give a fuck meter is just like way down. So it's like we're just gonna fucking try all the things, and I don't care what happens here. But then you listen to it the next morning, you're like, is this bad? Is this, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the test.
That's always
I have like a romantic eye for that, but I can never get it. Like I always want to be able to produce in like the middle of the night, like, oh, I'm making techno in the middle of the night. Like it sounds fucking cool, but I open the DAW and like I cannot do anything, and then I just play video games, and then I'm in bed by 10.
Those are good sound design times. Like do some mud pie
Yeah.
crafting. maybe.
the ill
Yeah.
methodology, or you're very like aware of your time.
Yeah, where you're like, we have our different segregated sections where
yeah.
it's like,
Whoa.
maybe we can smoke a little.
Segregated.
Hey,
Oh, sorry,
dude,
sorry.
hey now, easy,
I mean,
easy.
split up. Ah!
Fuck, bro.
Bezio canceled on 400 pod.
Segregation.
That's it. That's all. Yep.
That's all it
I'll
takes.
see myself
All
out.
right, folks. We'll see you next week.
We blame you, El Gates.
It's always Bill Gates.
So
Yeah, I like those morning fucking beats as well. Go ahead.
this is gonna be kind of putting us on the spot. I hope you've dived into it a little bit more.
Oh shit.
So last time I kicked it at your house, you were showing me this video.
I knew this was gonna go.
I had to. I've literally been waiting till you came on the pod to talk about it.
Hell yeah.
And I should have done more research because I still don't fully understand it. But
Yep. me neither.
so hopefully you can elaborate more if you've played with it. You can't.
I
Okay,
can't.
so we're both fucked.
But there's something to it though. It's
Yeah.
like the Delta rack, where you have a rack that's literally like one channel and then another channel dry, but the phase is inverted on the second channel.
Right.
Okay.
And you just throw like an EQ on there and crank up the EQ in one spot, and it's kind of like a little filter that you would have differently because it's pulling in the sounds
Right.
that are
It's
not in phase with
Yeah.
the other sound.
unphasing a certain part of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on your delta channel or your phase shifted channel, you would have like whatever processing you want. So anytime you move your EQ boost or cutting, you're creating like the phase cancellation of the other sound and only implementing like this new
Effect.
effect into whatever frequency you want. So it's like a really intense, like it's not even multi-band, but it's kind of
Yeah.
the concept, or like a spectral
Yeah, it's kind
kind of
of
processing.
a specific band.
And
kinda thing.
it's fucking so sick, and I should have just been diving into it way more.
Same.
Like, yeah, we
It's
were
like,
both so pumped.
I'm
We were
gonna
like, I've
figure
never-
this out.
Yeah, both of us were so confident. Like, this is like,
But there's
I've never
like
seen anything
chains
like
of
this.
it too, where it's like it starts out as a Delta rack, then it does some shit, then it goes to another Delta rack,
Yeah,
and then it does some more shit.
yeah,
But
I'm glad we can be so clear about this.
yeah.
yeah.
On our
Great.
producer
Crystal.
podcast.
we're
right
using
here.
very big words.
I mean, it makes sense to me, but I'm trying to figure out why I would do it.
I'm thinking of
It's cool, dude.
Chef
Sounds
Womp.
cool.
Shout out Chef Womp.
Wompy.
Had a
Chef.
thing
Thank
he
you,
talked
Chef.
about where he said you put a soothe, and then you do like a delta with like a fucking phase flip or whatever in a parallel rack of some sort, and it does something. And it reminds me of that a little bit. I did
yeah.
something like that recently. I put a spectral compressor and then did a phase flip and put it in parallel. And I used it. I don't know what it did.
Nice.
You know, like it was like, all right, it kind of fucking fucks it up a little bit. Like,
Oh, you heard a difference though? Like you heard a thing happen?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
if it feels like it feels good, then that's all you need. That
I
keeps
mean,
that
I think the
juice
sounds
flowing.
sound cool. I don't know what was happening from it. I was just kind of like, let's
Is it
doing something interesting, maybe.
But you have
Maybe.
you have like two in parallel, or is it just like you're
I had
just fucking with the
one
Delta
in parallel,
Okay.
and then flipping it.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Or
What would that-
flipping the phase. So it should kind of.
Wouldn't that just cancel itself out?
Well, it would, except for the fact that it's different than the original signal.
Yeah, he had a
Because of
spectral
your
compressor.
EQ on
the
Sue's.
picking up the
spectral
effect
compressor is
really
doing
heavily.
something to the original sound, so it's not the same sound. So when you flip it,
I see. Yeah.
you should be phasing shit out if the spectral compressor isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
But the spectral compressor is there. So it is doing different things, and then therefore making weird peaks happen.
What were you doing on the spectral compressor? Were you like trying to hard OTT it or something, or were you just?
I think I used it fairly aggressively.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Is that like those effects from that dude on GitHub or whatever? Like there's a spectral compressor. There's like
I
a
think
crisp,
so. Yes.
Yeah.
crisp
Oh, shit.
sick
Oh.
as fuck.
Yeah.
Didn't we talk about that like 3
spectral
weeks ago or
compressor.
something?
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
white one that looks
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
white.
it looks
it's
terrible.
just white with like
Yeah.
little
I
like
use
dials.
it all,
Yeah.
all
goated.
the time.
It's goated.
I use it twice on the master of a thing I just printed.
Interesting.
Yeah. I've actually
Great.
been using that as the spectral gate, like multiband thing that we've talked about before,
Yeah.
and that's been pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's been pretty fun.
I need to understand that more.
Yeah,
If-
me too.
If you guys
how
want, you can
exactly-
go back
explain
to go back to episode 132 where we
Oh,
talk
yeah,
about the spectral
132.
gate for the first time.
Oh,
Right,
yeah, of
right.
course.
Yeah, of course,
132.
has to be that one.
It's so amazing how you remember
I know.
the number of the episode so well.
Locked
Just
in up
locked
here,
in up
dude.
there. Jesus.
So essentially, the spectral gate is
132
something that
with restraint, right?
Yep, with
Yeah,
restraint.
oh, yeah.
Yep.
I think it's actually like 147.
I get 32 and 47 mixed up.
That's right.
It's mine.
It'll happen.
I think it's on the homepage of our
You
YouTube.
guys can go find it. You can go find it.
So essentially, it's this concept we got from NASCO, where he's building
Shout
a
out NASCO.
logarithmic multiband vocoder and treating it as more of a gate. So, if you in Ableton, if you take your vocoder and run it in parallel 3 times, and you have one channel dedicated to a low, mid, high, you can have your low end of the vocoder be less bands. I think it's like 4 bands or 8
Okay,
bands
yeah.
because you have less harmonics down there.
Makes sense.
Then the mid band would be like 16-ish or somewhere around there. And then the high band would be like the 40 amount or whatever. So you're gating each individual band through this vocoder. And then when you play with like attack and release time and whatever little fun bits you have in the vocoder, it just processes the sound differently because you're using it's like spectral.
Right, right.
So that
Not
concept,
only is it spectral, it's multi-band specific to the band spectral.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
is kind
Dialed in
of
for
a
each.
fun way to look at it.
which is what gives it the sauce because
yeah.
a vocoder in general, especially the Ableton one, any vocoder is just kind of doing a spectral thing inherently. Like it has its
Right,
40
it's a-
bands
yeah.
through the
a
And
thing.
if you have,
rudimentary
yeah,
spectral.
if you have 40
Yeah.
bands across the full spectrum, then your low end is getting an
Just one or
aggressive
two.
number of bands, whereas your high end is not getting enough bands at all.
Yeah.
Right, right. So you split it up to kind of
Yeah.
spread the love.
Which this spectral compressor we're talking about has fucking
It can
settings
go up,
that-
it
like
can go up to like 10,000.
69,000
Yeah, it can go to crazy bands.
fucking
Oh my
bands.
God, what?
Like,
Yeah.
it can go crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
have
insane.
you not fucked with the bands?
Not
The
Right.
bands is
Dance.
great. You can go like 64 bands up to like it starts default as like
2078?
2048
Yeah.
or yeah,
Yeah, a lot.
whatever it is,
A lot of bands.
bands, and you can go up from default.
So then
I
that
know
makes me
that
question
much.
do you even need to set up like this multi-band spectral gate rack with that one then?
Yes.
Still?
I think yes. Yeah. Cuz I think having less bands on the low end
Correct.
is ideal.
Having
It's like
it
more
I
spaced
tend to
out.
move toward
Right, I
the
think
lower
that's the
amount
move.
of bands in general with that compressor just because things sound nicer that way. And I think low end is a lot to do with that.
Yeah, and spectral compressor is pretty smart where it'll reduce the size of the bands the lower you go, but I still think having it spaced correctly by splitting it in a multi-band so that the bottom end
That would be nice.
has, only a set number of bands that are reduced per the hertz because, they're bigger on the bottom than up top.
Shit. Trying to
Sure.
set up one of those with
Sure.
that specific.
Especially in
compressor.
Ableton.
Yeah, especially in Ableton.
669 multi.
I had it crash my DAW yesterday, and it was like terminate plugin. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah.
And then just
And then the DAW
activate
was
it.
still open,
You're
and I was like, and Reload the plugin.
I am very jealous of that. God.
That's right. Bitwig is the goat.
Oh, Bitwig boys.
Yep. Bitwig boys.
There is a
Suck
Bitwig
it.
version of that video that we were trying to figure out of the Delta rack.
Really?
We can send that to you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
send
Okay,
it to-
there's our
Love that.
homework.
That
We
might actually make more sense.
Yeah. I want to dive into this
Hell yeah.
concept because the second he showed me, one, I'd never seen anything like it. I didn't even know this like was possible, but it makes perfect sense. And it's so fucking cool. And I bet you we can find some insane ways to do this, like just weird, like phasing, filter, like multiband processing, spectral shit.
Just sounds a little different, but cooler.
Mm-hmm. It sounds very
Kind of-
cool.
How much cooler?
Several
pretty cool, dude.
percentage points
Wow,
cooler.
that's pretty good.
In the NASDAQ.
Several is impressive. Several is impressive.
Yep. I've been trying to start. I have Bitwig. I've been messing around with that a little bit
Oh,
more.
yeah.
I haven't written a track in Bitwig.
That's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Welcome
But
to
I've
hurry
started-
up. It's
I've-
not that hard.
Started making a little list of like my Ableton go-to shortcuts and like what their translation is in Bitwig.
Oh, okay, sure.
So like trying to
Trying to figure out
trying
how
to just
to use it.
just to be like, this is what I would typically do in Ableton. How do I do this? And the project conversion is pretty
It's
solid
crazy.
too, though.
Yeah, it's
kind of
much better than it
impressive.
was.
Yeah.
Like a couple of years ago, it kind of fucked up, but now it's pretty quick.
I notice sometimes it'll like duplicate my channels. Though.
Yeah, it'll do some goofy shit
It'll
still.
dupe it up.
It'll
But
dupe them.
it's a nice starting point. It seems
It's-
like,
Yeah,
you know.
Well,
yeah.
You just go over to those channels, you click on them, you hit whatever your disable button is, shortcut is. For me, is the default Alt A.
Crazy.
It's
like mute a
so
channel or
much
something?
less crazy than you think it is.
I like
Alt
zero
A,
on the
Alt
numpad.
A is so fucking
Alt A.
much closer than zero
No,
is.
it's my
Is it-
thumb.
And that's like one of the default you said.
It's right next to
Alt-
my. It's right next to my mouse.
That's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
closer. It's still closer.
Yeah, you
No,
can
it's
just,
not.
Alt A is here.
Yeah, but
It's, my hand's already here.
yeah, but my hand is right here.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Your mouse is not right next to your keyboard
Yeah,
like
it
this
is.
at all times.
he's got that super
What,
sensitivity
oh,
like going
he
on. where
does
it's
have a
like
really
moves
sensitive
2
mouse.
centimeters, and it's like.
He does have a sensitive
No, it's
mouse.
not that
There's
sensitive,
no
but
way.
it's
There's
sensitive.
no way it's closer than
It's-
not
it's-
moving your hand.
It's one button and not two, which is why I like
What
it.
is this? What does this
It's
shortcut
also-
do?
So
What is
stupid.
It's also
Alt
much
A?
closer because it's on my mouse.
It just disables the channel.
Yeah,
or
just
the
dis-
thing, or
yeah.
the plugin,
So like
or the
it's 0
clip,
on
or-
Ableton.
It's
just
0. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why he has it as 0.
Yeah.
I stuck with the Bitwig way, which is obviously the right way.
Assimilate.
Yeah.
It's Bitwig. It's hard to argue with that one.
Hey,
Anyway, you can disable your channels in Bitwig, and you have a little button in the bottom left of the screen. It's a little X. You click on that thing, and it'll just get rid of that track
Nice.
altogether,
Okay.
which is nice
Because it's
for,
disabled, so
yeah,
it's like.
yeah,
It
it'll
just
hide
gets rid
it.
of anything that's disabled.
Dude. That
and
would
and
clean
then you
up
can
so much.
reopen them.
And
at
it
any
doesn't
moment.
it doesn't hit your CPU or anything when it's disabled, so it's very fucking nice. And then you can stack a fucking complete project, and then if you need to go back and find some old like original MIDI from a mud pie that you made within that track, you can go look for it.
Which is, I think, what we did when I came over to your house. We like pulled up another project.
Yep.
We're like, oh yeah, I want to use this thing.
That's what I've been trying to do is like catalog my shit, because it's like, okay, I feel like there's some through lines here with various like elements and things, and it's like to have that just ready to go. That just plays into the quickness, and
Right.
when you're not thinking and you're just doing, then I feel like that's the move. But yeah, like, do you guys save your old racks or like catalog anything, or
No.
try to do that?
I do, and then I never end up using it.
Yeah,
Like, there's like 2, maybe 3 racks I consistently use, and then like all of my mud pies,
An
I will.
admission.
What's up?
I said an admission.
Yeah. There's,
Damn.
and that's only because they're like new, and they're like my fun new little things, and it's just easier to have a little rack
You got
than
that.
go through
Right,
and like
right.
make it again. They're not special racks by any means. But yeah, the mud pies.
Don't let them know that.
Yeah. You can buy those racks on Patreon.
Guys, I just want to say Zach Forsyth is the guy to hit up if you need a nice fart sample.
Oh.
Whoa.
Is that this man in the chat right
Wow.
now?
Is he just sitting in a studio ripping farts into a microphone or what?
Show yourself, Zach.
Poor microphone. Oh my God.
Damn.
Yeah, drop that fart sample pack in the Discord, please, sir.
Careful what you wish for.
Thank you, dog. He's for it. He's for it. Here's our Discord.
That's the
Fucking
shout out you
jump
want.
in there, and then I expect like
sauce.
a minimum 20 sample pack.
You're
of
probably
fart sounds.
you're
from
probably
you.
not far off. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Nice.
They're going to be the most
We'll love
high
that.
quality, like, surround sound farts.
32-bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Surround. You've heard of the album Surrounded? Yeah. Well, just wait.
He worked with Dolby Atmos to produce that pack.
5.1,
Yeah.
7.2.
Dude, can you imagine being in a room with like 7 microphones, with like a bass microphone, and
like
like all the different
$100,000
directions,
studio.
and then you're
Serious
just
business.
walking in there and ripping farts. You're just ripping
Please
farts.
do.
You gotta get that impulse, that impulse response there. You
Right,
just
yeah,
run all your
exactly.
bases through it and bada bing, bada boom.
That would be
Oh
sick to
my
have a bunch of
God.
fart impulse
Dude.
responses.
That would be
They were like,
insane.
oh, what are,
Actually, fart
Okay.
impulse responses might go ham.
what are these
That might be
convolutions you
crazy.
have?
I'm down. We have the technology.
Actually, a hilarious pack to make is just impulse responses that are all fart sounds.
That is amazing.
Yeah, write that shit down.
That would go
I'd use those.
hard. That would go so fucking hard.
It would. I bet you they sound sick.
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious.
What, do you guys want to move on some talks for the pod?
All right, let's do some talks.
TikToks.
These will probably...
All right, Max, we got a new segment.
Yeah,
One of a kind. No one's ever done anything like this.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, too much pressure.
Hang on, let me get rid of some of these so that I'm not confused what's what here. Otherwise, it might get,
Jesus, how many drives do you have? I'm jealous.
I've a
He's
good
got a
good
lot of
amount.
drives.
got a lot of
bro.
drives.
I've
He's
got a
got
good
a
amount.
lot
All
of
that
drives.
space.
Yeah, but
And
it's
he's
a
got
lot of it's full.
This is
two
a
very
commodity.
large drives just waiting to be installed.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Oh, yeah, you got 2 4-terabyte
I
ones,
have
right?
one as well.
That's absurd.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Let's get these downloaded.
Not that
real quick.
excited, obviously. They've been
Yeah.
sitting in your studio
Yeah,
for a
that's
month
because
and
I
a half.
haven't needed them yet. Because I'm good at cleaning
He's
out
got
my
a lot
shit.
of space.
I'm
Oh.
pretty good at once I don't need something, I get rid of it. But look, there's 3 that are
to
like
do
super
that
full,
more.
and this is 548 megabits. This isn't.
Oh,
That's just reserved.
little beta drive.
Yeah, it's for
Beta.
my betas.
It's a bitch ass drive for sure. It's
All right.
like base nectar.
Let me
Yeah.
let me get this over here so we can change our view here. Zip.
Since we're talking about drive space, I just have to bring this up real quick.
Mhm.
John showed me this program called Winderstat, WINDIR stat, and essentially
Windar.
it,
Windarstat.
Windarstat.
it goes
Isn't it?
Winderstat. Yeah, we used to Winderstat.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
I like gold.
So you run the program and it scans through every single file on your computer and shows you this like visual display of how all of your files are organized, and it's color coded and shows you the size, and it's so sick to see. It's like visualizing all the files on your computer in one little thing, and you can click them individually and be like, oh yeah, this massive file right here is taking up so much space. You just delete it real quick because it's some bullshit, and you're like, oh,
Okay.
now I have 30 gigs
Yeah,
free.
all
I
of
mean-
a sudden it's like, oh, that made cleanup much easier.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm pretty adamant about going through my PC like once
for
every
you.
4 months
I am
and
not-
doing that
Yeah.
on its own.
I try and be organized,
good
and
thing
mine's
to
pretty
have.
organized, but it just develops.
Yeah.
It developed into a rat's nest where it's just so much
Yeah,
bullshit that
I
doesn't need to be
can't-
there.
Every time it gets a little bit better where it's like, okay, now I've got named folders.
Yeah, yeah,
Big brain, watch out.
yeah, exactly.
No, I take care of business on my computer.
Good for you.
I fucking can't handle it being a fucking rat's nest.
Yeah, just bloated as heck.
Yeah.
Blooded.
All right, let's see.
All right, what do
let's
we
see
got,
blooded.
Caleb?
Let's see what we got here.
Blooded.
What's your secret sauce? My mixed down secret sauce is actually 4 hours journey, break of 10 minutes every hour. I start from kick, low percussion, high percussion. That's 1 hour. Take 10 minutes break. I do synth high, synth low, 10 minutes break, effects, and then vocal. Now it's time to take a break, come back as a listener. I sit in the room. I'm not an engineer. I listen my own mix. I take notes, and I do a quick revision if I need to.
So this is basically
This guy
how I
spends
mix.
how much time on the fucking first set of things? Low end. What was the first things?
What's your secret sauce? My mixed down secret sauce is actually 4 hours journey, break
4
of
hours
10
journey.
minutes every hour.
Yes.
I start from kick,
We go
low percussion,
kick.
high percussion.
So kick, low percussion, high percussion. The
That
first
takes
hour.
an
Low to
hour.
high.
Yeah.
Just to build
If you're
that
good,
out.
Doesn't
dude.
seem like
That's
that should take
drums.
an hour.
It's basically drums.
yeah.
He's just saying drums.
If you want to
Yeah.
take an hour to do
I'll
that,
take an hour
you
to do
can-
my drums.
You can do that.
Hey, if
do
you
that.
want good
You
drums,
can
take an
do
hour.
that.
I'll take 2 hours to do my drums.
What are you,
But is
what are
it
you doing
productive?
during this time?
To mix your
Like finding
drums?
that right, just right where you're like,
Sure.
yeah,
It
it could be
take 2 hours
get it
just
to a certain
mixing your
spot.
drums.
Yeah.
Just all on
No.
its own.
I said I could take 2 hours.
I couldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't even know what to do.
I'd take an
with
hour.
all that
I'd probably
time.
take
What do
about
you-
20 minutes to do that.
Yeah.
There's just something about like that.
There's no way I'm
lasering
spending
in
that
where
much
it's
time
like-
on that.
Yeah.
shit.
You can.
It's
I
good
will
to have
eventually
time
spend
limits.
that amount of time. but-
Yeah,
I
I
do have
mean-
to say one thing though. What is this fucking horrible highlighting that they're doing with the red, where it's just hitting random fucking letters in all of the text?
I don't know. I was thinking that too.
It instantly bugged me. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't like this now.
I don't get it.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
So what we
10
do?
minutes break. I do synth.
Yeah, okay.
high, synth
Do you see it
low,
now?
10
Like,
minutes
Now,
break.
yeah, now I'm
Yes.
just
triggered. Let's throw that in.
10 my.
Yeah.
But he's got a good point though. The
Yeah.
timer and to like put the limits on things
And
is
to take the breaks.
really important.
The breaks
And
are
breaks.
huge.
We're going
in
back to
between
the-
certain parts.
Back to the ill methodology.
And
Shout out
then-
Bill Gates.
Come back as a listener. I definitely do that where I come back and I try and just listen to the whole thing and be
Yeah.
like, what's just weird?
Yeah.
Is there anything that's just straight up
fun
weird?
part.
that
That's
I'm
my
missing?
What is
favorite.
the song
I
trying
love
to
that.
tell me that it
Yeah.
needs here?
Right.
Yep. Yep.
Try to imagine what could be in that spot that sounds weird.
One of my favorite things to do is like after you've worked on the song and whatever for like a long amount of time, you take the break, but then you smoke a little bit of weed before you listen again, because then it's just you're just warping your perception of everything, but you get the special ears where everything just sounds like 4D. That's the best, because then it like really stands out, not
like
only
that.
technically but
Yeah.
also like emotionally or like vibe wise.
Right, right.
You're just like, oh wait, this just like isn't even like grooving, or it's just like not feeling good for some reason, and you go fucking. I love that. That's my favorite.
Right
it's a pretty good
high,
time.
edit sober, or right drunk, edit sober.
Yeah,
right,
yeah, one or the
right
other.
drunk, edit high.
Yeah.
Just change it. Just change it up.
Yeah, just change it.
Yeah,
Be in a
just
different.
use
Use
Change it
your
up.
use your earbuds.
But I
like,
also
use
try
your-
not to make.
yeah.
I try not to make big decisions while I'm inebriated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because-
I've
Yeah,
made
that's
that
just more for the
mistake.
creative. Like, where could we go? Here?
Right, right. More of the vibe centric kind of
yeah.
things.
Definitely
there
save
with
save as a new project, and then fucking feel free,
Right, right.
and then compare and contrast again when you're sober.
Yeah, I don't do that specifically
Surgically.
in that order. I like a kick, snare, bass.
Oh, the mix down. I thought you were talking about.
As far as the mix, yeah, as far as what this guy's fucking
Okay. Yeah.
specific hours are for or
Right,
whatever.
right.
I don't quite do that exact kind of. I like getting my kick and my snare, and my bass in there, and then maybe I'm gonna move to percussion after I get my bass in there. But I want to make sure the basses are
Same.
sitting nicely with
Yeah.
the kick and the snare
Yep,
before
same.
I
Got
start
that foundation.
fucking with the.
Yep.
And then maybe I
100%.
might
Building the
mute.
house on.
I
yeah.
might mute the bass to work on the drums as a whole in order to like kind of solidify them together or something like that. But I like kind of spreading things out more gradually across the song as I'm mixing and trying to not put too much attention in one place at a time.
Yeah.
because I feel like I will end up overcorrecting if I do that.
And then you've got like that one piece that's like really, really good, and everything else is like, ooh.
Yeah, it doesn't.
We got the eye
you need
just
to listen
right,
in
but-
context as much as you can. So like, I like trying to get to a basic mix down as fast as possible, so that then I can start like massaging all the little details of it.
Right, and kind of really starting to goose it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the faster you can get the levels kind of 90% there, then the faster you can get the other 10%, I think.
It's just more enjoyable, like to listen to too.
Sure.
Where it's like,
100%.
Yeah,
and it gets easier the more you practice. I mean, the first couple mixes took me fucking weeks.
Oh my God! Right? Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I'm so glad I'm over that.
Guys. You got to push through.
Yeah, you got to push through.
I
Push
feel
through,
like
guys.
the
You'll get there.
mixing phase is just part of the songwriting phase. It's
Same.
like mixing,
Yeah. Well-
songwriting, and then just the mastering.
Nowadays,
make it
for
loud,
sure,
if you
like I mix as I go, for
Yeah,
sure. Like
right.
generally,
Part of the songwriting.
I'll get
experience.
60% there by the time the song is laid out,
Yeah.
and then I'll get another like 20% done
Yeah.
after the song's laid out, so that I can print it and listen to it in the car or whatever. And then I'll usually sit on it for like a month, kind of taking mental notes, whatever.
Fresh
And
in
then
your
I'll
ears.
come back and print it all down to audio, bringing it all into a whole new
Whoa.
fucking project with everything gone.
Like each channel,
New
like
mix.
each
Yeah,
channel
each-
is just
each
now,
channel's
it's all audio.
brand
Yeah.
new.
Hell yeah.
And a lot of
Stem it.
times I'll take
Stem
off.
Yeah.
I'll take off a lot of the EQing or clipping that I did in that initial like mix as I go, so that I can re-level everything,
Yeah.
re-clip, limit everything, and do a whole new from bottom up mix. And it's usually so much better.
It immediately is so much fucking louder. You're
It's-
like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, and it sounds.
How did my song sound that quiet before?
Yeah,
It is incredible how good it works.
and you'll get locked into a way of hearing the
It's
song
insane.
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
once you bring
Yeah.
everything
You're
in
not
at max
looking
volume.
at these like little lines of like notes and like all this shit. It's just like it's there. This is what it sounds like. Again, going back to like not having like re-triggering happening
Right,
weirdly or anything.
right.
But yeah.
Yep.
Yep. You bring things in as you got all your channels. I like to pull them all to 0 before I render them out, so that I have every single channel hitting at 0
Right, that's
at the
key.
very least when it's brought in. So if you push play on the fucking song, it's just like it's just nonsense. And then you go and
25
you
loves.
hit your kick first, and you put it at the volume where you think your kick should be, and then you fucking just start bringing in all the different elements one at a time.
leveling them.
And it does not take very long.
No.
you will be.
I'll do that in an hour.
Oh yeah, yeah. The whole thing will be kind of like volumed out in an hour, and then you're like, okay, now this thing is hitting hard as fuck. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And it also like randomly has more depth for some reason. It's insane.
Yeah,
It's such a fucking good way to work.
yeah, it's definitely my jam. All right, moving on. Let's see what
All
the
right,
surgical
all right.
EQing guy has to
Surgical.
tell us.
Cueing the crap out of my vocals used to be something I did in the first 5 years of mixing. Now I want to show you a
are
better
vocals?
way and a more musical way to EQ your vocals. After getting all my individual vocals all set up, I bus them all to a vocal mix bus. And on the vocal mix bus, I have the Mixwave Electrodyne 511, and I'm doing almost
yes,
5
of course.
dB gain of 10K. And then I'm doing about 4 dB boost of 500. But the key thing here is I start to mix in this mix knob, which kind of gives you this instant pop vocal polish. So let's take a listen as I blend up the mix knob here.
Go ask your heart, how do we survive life? All a big surprise, yeah. Go ask your heart,
Damn. Honestly.
how do we survive? Go ask your heart.
I like his. I think the main takeaway
What do
here.
you think this guy likes?
I'm surprised you did a boost at 500. I always thought the sweet spot for vocals was like 1K.
Well, regardless
Apparently
of where,
it's
I think it's dependent on the vocals.
Not every vocal is the same.
Okay.
I thought.
I
True.
I think the main takeaway here is
We all speak in 432.
one,
430, whatever
not
the heady one
using
is.
432, yeah.
not using like surgical moves, but using like broad bells
Yeah.
and things like that and shelves, but also starting from a completely dry to slowly working the mix in to where it like sits right, as opposed to just slapping a cue on and like boosting highs and doing this and blah, blah, blah. Okay, it sounds better now. Moving on. Like kind of really taking the time to sit there and like work it in and see where it starts to fit better in the mix.
Just listening to it as you're mixing,
Yeah,
basically,
as
and you're
bringing it
turning in your mix, and you're like, okay, it sits right nicely
Right.
around here or
Right.
something like that.
And I'll kind of do a similar thing, but I'll work the other way. I'll work fully wet and then start bringing it down till I can't really hear it not doing anything, and then I'll slowly work it back up till I feel like it's right where it needs to be.
I got to be better about
That's
that.
just
Yeah.
a different
Because that is such a
method.
good move.
I've got to say, this guy's plugin probably is some kind of emulation of some
course.
fucking shit.
She's a band mixer.
And like
That curve.
you, yeah, it's not like
Yeah.
it's like one of those fucking serum reverb or
Filter.
comb
Yeah.
filters or something like that, where as you turn the knob, things start to poke up in certain ways.
Right.
You know, like most of these kind of plugins have like a very specific kind of peakage
Character.
that is happening in the EQ of it. It's not just like it's lifting the high end. It's doing like very
some
specific lifting of the high end. Maybe
Right.
it's like pulling down 4K randomly at the same time or something like that.
Right. It's got some kind of interesting
Yeah.
shape happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the good,
So-
like compressors where you can load in like a sample or something that's like that you can force the frequency into, like a pink noise curve or something where you can just kind of
Oh,
push the sound into that to where it's like takes on that characteristic.
Oh, interesting.
Those are always, yeah.
I don't
it's
know
fun.
about this. What kind of compressor is this? Can you think of this compressor you're thinking of?
Yeah, it's by DSM, I think. DSM prismatic compressor or some shit.
whoa, okay.
There's
This
like a
sounds
bunch
cool.
of curves.
This sounds
on it
really
that you
cool.
can-
Yeah.
I want to fucking understand what that compressor is.
Right?
Okay.
I think it's
No-
it's not
noted
dynamic.
that. Something. DSM
Yeah.
compressor.
Caleb, did you get mine by chance?
Yep.
Nice.
Here's a top end trick to source up
Oh,
your
I love
hi-hat.
this guy.
So I started with
Yeah, it's
Cable
fucking
guy.
goddamn cable guy.
here's a top end trick
Cable
to
guy.
source up
Oh,
your
yeah.
hi-hats. So
Thank
I
you for
started
your
with
service.
this basic drum beat. I felt like the beat needed more treble, more air. The hats are nice
More
and thick,
air.
but they're missing that air up top. I tried boosting
sure
the
are.
treble with EQ, but it didn't quite hit right. So here is how I solved it.
Wow,
I loaded
those
Noise
peaks.
Shaper on the hats. This outputs noise following the same hat rhythm. You can choose any flavour of noise to add more brightness. I went for this tambourine noise. I like to keep treble focused in the middle, so I set noise to mono. And
Attaboy.
another cool trick is to automate the noise's release in the song.
I've been doing that
So
lately.
here's the beat with the new tambourine layer.
Hey, 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 hey. Yeah, this method's goated. I use this
Yeah.
kind of shit all the fucking time.
Fucking
wait.
constantly. I
I'm
use this,
confused.
actually.
He did a noise gate based off of the input of his hi-hat?
Yep.
Yep.
Nice. Okay,
like-
that's very cool.
Yeah. It just will
I do this on almost
Fucking sweet,
all
yeah.
my
follow
shit.
the
Fills it out.
hi-hats. Yeah.
Fills it out.
I use it on almost every. I
Yeah,
use
I
it
use
on
it on not just
so
hi-hats.
many sounds.
Bass sounds, fucking.
Yeah.
It's like
pads.
erosion in
Yeah.
Ableton.
You just get to pick.
but
In a way
sample
cooler
or-
form.
Yeah.
yeah,
Dude,
You can
it's a little bit
release and
like
shit.
erosion anyway.
there's a Claude Von Stroke, or I guess now, what's his name?
Barclay Crenshaw.
Barclay Crenshaw.
His original
Crenshaw.
name is Barclay Crenshaw. That's
Yeah.
his
His actual name is
Yeah,
Barclay.
yeah, that's the original. Like he was doing, yeah, but he's got a plug-in out. I don't know if y'all seen it. It's like a
I heard of it. I don't know
called
what it is.
Nasty Channel, but it's like basically a built-in erosion with different kinds of erosions and distortion and stuff.
What is it
Nasty
called?
channel?
Nasty channel, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's got probably like 10 to 12 different noises that it can layer in, and it can do some other controls and stuff, but
Barclay Nasty, dude.
it's like that sort of thing where it's like it achieves that one goal that like you could do it a
It looks
million
like a
different
Barclay
ways
thing.
and it's just ready to go.
See, that's what's
Fast.
nice. Yeah.
So fast.
I liked that
Oh,
method.
$50 is not bad.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It's worth it.
Some like tribal symbolism fucking
So
plug
you
in.
select the noise, and then you have a bunch of options to fuck with things.
Oh, in a
with.
trial.
Yeah.
You might also like thick.
I mean, you could
kicks.
do
He
that
spelled
with
it wrong.
you could do that with a
sorry.
million different things or whatever.
He did spell
Like there's
thick
more.
wrong.
It's just one of the ways that you can add the noise.
Yep. And honestly, if any plugin can just make your 7-step process
Yeah,
into 2 or 3
exactly.
steps, like fucking awesome. Yeah, I think that. Oh wait, what is that Skrillex and Kenny Beats thing? Oh, that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they
Side
played
note,
a
but-
show.
Yeah.
I was
saw
hoping there'd
clips of
be
that.
some kind of
There's nothing that even shows it.
yeah.
Wow.
We're in the internet.
Dude, we are on the internet and in the internet right now.
Inside the internet.
We are in there.
The files are inside the computer. So simple.
Let me go back to Gmail here.
How is there none?
I know that's kind of insane.
Kind of crazy.
Is it brand new?
What is it?
How
The-
recent is that plugin?
The nasty.
Pretty newish. Yeah.
Okay.
Like 2 months maybe.
You
Something.
would think
Oh,
he
okay.
would release one
I-
upon
yeah.
release.
Yeah.
That
right?
would show up immediately on YouTube because he's popular.
Weird.
Maybe he's just a boss and he's like, figure it out.
Yeah. The people will find it.
He might be a little busy. Oh, we got more.
We got 2 more. These were sent in from
Shit.
from Twitter actually.
So
That's not true.
They're always.
Oh, can we do that one last?
Jimmy Carr.
You mean second?
Second.
Oh, you showed me that one.
Yeah. He showed it to me after, and I was like, oh, dude, I'm sampling the
This
fuck out of
one's
this.
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. What is
I also
Oh.
saw this one too a while ago, and I was like, yeah, what the fuck?
this?
is going
Blew my fucking mind.
on? Let's
All right.
hang on. Let me turn it down. It's
Yeah, turn it
I
down a
can
little bit.
already tell
It's
it's loud.
very harsh as it is too. Like just his sounds he's using.
so he's got some kind of
I need to
a bunch of
so I
shit
can
is
actually hear it.
mapped.
Designing.
Yeah,
shit.
Touch Designer mapped to
Oh, okay.
and,
wavetable.
and then he has some weird pressure pad thing.
Yeah.
Fucking sweet, right?
Yeah. Mud pie machine.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, we don't have to do the whole video.
Why
It's
does he do
just this
all
over and
his
over, but-
fingers at every single time?
I'm
What is
so
wrong
happy
with
you
you?
said that.
Can we try with like 2 fingers and see what happens? What happens with 2 fingers?
That was one of my pet peeves.
know
I was
what I
like, you
mean?
just tried all 10 at the same time. Like, what does 2 do? Yeah.
Shout out 2 fingers.
Oh, yeah, shout out 2
Two
fingers.
fingers. 2 fingers would be extremely pissed with this. I only
Using
have
way too many fingers, mate.
Yeah, that's 5 times more
it's
fingers.
It's 5 and 10 fingers. What you doing?
I think my favorite part is just when he hits all 5 fingers on the left hand, all it is just a fucking kick drum.
I know.
Why does one of the finger little buttons say 14 for some reason?
I know. Yeah. The numbers are all fucked up for the fingers.
It's based on an AI painting where they have
Yeah.
20,000 fingers.
Right.
Pretty cool. That's a pretty cool thing that this guy did.
That's fun, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if he
Yeah.
like made this tablet thing or developed it or if
I think
like
it's just an iPad, and it's some kind of Touch Designer app style thing.
right, and then
It's
he
just
just made a
all
Max for Live
velocity
device
of
for
it,
it.
yeah.
All mapped.
It'd be fun.
I don't even know if he Max for Live did, if it's just all mapped to different parameters.
No, that's definitely because there's no, or maybe it is, but I haven't seen
got
like a
that window on
gradient
the
thing.
left.
Oh, this
yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen most
It's
of Max for
kinda
Live
like
devices, so
a-
I can't say. But
What's that one? The expression control. It's
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of like that, but like different.
yeah, totally.
Right.
But does probably the same sort of stuff.
Oh, and then this one's a
All
banger.
right, yeah. Well,
It's a
and
banger, mate.
the
It's a
tops
banger.
Isn't
with
it?
This one.
So what would you like a joke about? Could be any.
Let me start it over and turn it up. Shout out Jimmy Carr.
So what would you like a joke about? Could be anything at all. Could be funeral directing, could be getting married, could be anything you want. Anything at all. I will write a joke from like, off the top of my head, just
The
really
goat.
quick.
Drum and bass music.
Drum and bass music.
Why did the lion get lost in the forest?
I don't know.
Because jungle is massive.
Jungle is massive.
Yes, man. Jimmy Carr's the goat.
Fucking got him,
God
dude.
damn,
Fucking
son.
got him.
Holy shit.
Insanity.
Insane,
Yeah,
dude.
so
Dude,
good.
that guy whips that out off the
pretty
top of his head.
Top of
pretty
his
good.
dome.
Imagine being that funny and from the UK at the same time.
Oh my god. Yeah.
It's
There's
fucking
no,
amazing.
We don't stand a chance.
It's a rare.
Yeah. We're fucked, dude.
Oh, I mean, they're
Oh
rare.
no! They just aren't very funny. That
Got
was
that
the
dry
point.
humor.
That was the point.
We're fucked.
We're in America. We win.
Yeah, we already beat them.
We're in the best country in the world.
Guys, the reason we exist is because we beat them.
Yeah, obviously.
Remember
It's
that.
just it's just history, you know.
Yeah,
It's just history. Don't worry about it.
Don't look into it.
Yeah. Or do look into it.
or do. Find out how awesome we are.
Find out.
Go ahead. Fuck around.
Shout out Snarky and Pickle 28869. Nice.
Yeah.
And of course, Grandma.
Austin's grandma.
Oh.
We
Yeah,
love
of
you,
course.
Grammy Mouse,
Oh, it's so precious.
the goat,
What's up,
the
crew?
goat of podcast. Bezio, thanks for coming on today, dude.
Yeah,
Thanks
sheesh.
for having me back here to use words and stuff.
We do
Yeah.
have places for people to follow you on the internet.
Yeah.
What's that?
Do you have places for people to look you up on the internet?
What's the internet?
It's this weird new thing.
Just Bezio music at all the things should
Perfect.
be. So, yeah.
Okay. You heard it here first, folks. You heard
Bezio
it from-
music.
Yes,
We got a show in October 26th back at the lounge.
Sheesh.
Lounge.
Is that the Wildflower?
Wildflower Arts Collective? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Chef Womp is on there. Shout
Chef
out,
Womp.
brah.
Yep.
Excited to
Yeesh.
throw down and meet you, guy. And Subjet, I think, is the guy that's one of the guys that's kind of putting that all together.
Okay.
It's just gonna be a
Subjet.
30-minute set.
That's a cool name.
Nice
Oh,
little 30
little quickie.
is a cool
Yeah.
name.
Okay.
We're gonna make it quickie. We'll probably do all OGs, I think.
Oh, nice.
Let's go.
Yeah, do that, and then shout out Head Stash. We got our
Shout out.
year anniversary in November, so that's gonna happen as well.
Nice.
Just other than that, yeah, making some tunes.
Sick.
Gonna put them out.
Tunes, baby.
Putting out the tune.
Fuck yeah, folks.
Big shot head stash.
Find us, the Producer Lounge,
Hit the follow button.
on YouTube. Hit the follow button.
hit the subscribe button. Do all the things,
All
guys.
the things. Comment on that
Click that
shit.
bell.
Comment with any questions you have that we
Yeah.
maybe could answer on the podcast.
Very
we'll
few-
try and do that.
Very few chatters this week, guys. I know I can see how many people are watching, guys. You can
We see
you
you,
can
Pickle.
voice your opinion.
Yeah.
Pickle, if you're still there.
Please chat anytime.
Also, here there's for the Discord in
We do
here.
appreciate you lurking anyway, so
Yeah,
that's fine.
Always.
Whatever.
You can go to alwaysforwonder.com to find the Discord and things and come hang out with us. Yes, that's the correct one. Bezio Music. Correct, Pickle.
We're
We did it.
slowly getting out of drum and bass tempo for
Give her
our
a
episode
raise.
numbers, and we're entering like Gabber territory.
Yeah.
180, 190,
Some
200.
some
It's coming
hardcore.
close.
Hardcore.
It's coming soon.
Folks, we'll see you on the hardcore end next week.
Yes, sir.
Pew 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 pew.
Pew 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 pew
Bye.
pew.
Ba with a ba.